The most important and the last stage of your study abroad dream is your student visa application or the student permit that you will have to apply. And I can completely understand a rejection at this stage is highly demotivating. So hi everyone, my name is Rohit Jha, and in this video I'm going to tell you a step-by-step process of how to apply for a Canadian student visa permit online. But before I start, please do subscribe to our channel and press the icon on your screen so that you'll be notified whenever we'll upload a lot of videos on variety of career opportunities, global MBA, MIM programs, interview skills as well as resume. So in this video, what I'm going to tell you is a detailed process of how to apply for the student visa, what all forms you need to fill, what are the supporting documents, what is a letter of explanation. So everything I'm going to tell in this video, so do watch this video completely till the end because that's very important. And after this video, you don't need to hire anyone, you don't need any agents, you don't need to spend thousands of rupees or dollars in just filing for your visa application. You just need to give the visa application fee, and that you are paying it to the Canadian government. So that's the only part that you have to pay. But before I start, let me just tell you there are a couple of steps involved in this. First step is the form filling, the application. Second step is the supporting documents, and then the third step, which is the optional documents. So we'll discuss all the three steps in detail. So before I start, or before all these steps, the first step is to check your college or to check your university in the list of designated learning institutes approved by the Canadian government. So there is a list on the website. I'll put the link of that website in the description. You can just go and check. Just put the name of your university or school or college, whatever it is, and just see whether this college or university is in that list or not. It should be approved by the Canadian government, then only you will be able to apply for the student visa or student permit. In most of the cases, it will be in the list until unless it's maybe it's blacklisted, or some maybe a couple of universities are not a part of that list, but there are very few universities. So in majority of the cases, in my personal experience, I haven't seen any such case so far. So that's the first step. So now if your college is in the list, now first step is to log into the website. So I'll put the link of the website. Right now, due to the coronavirus situation, you directly need to apply to the Canadian government website for your student visa permit. Before that, you would have applied to your local, or maybe in India the VFS, they generally process the visas. So VFS website, they also process online application. But right now everyone has to apply on the same Government of Canada website. So that's the first step. I'll put the link in the description. So first step, you need to sign in just like any other website. There is no rocket science in that. They'll ask you to sign in with a GCkey. So I'll tell you, GCkey is nothing. Is a government of Canada. They issue a key or just like a user ID or password for the future reference. So just follow the simple procedure. Go there, create a user ID, create a password. They'll do some verifications. They'll ask you a couple of questions. There are 4 security questions they'll ask you. Just write the answers, whatever you are comfortable. Maybe take a picture and save those 4 answers, because every time whenever you will log into the website, they'll ask any of the question out of the 4. So it's very important to save all your security questions somewhere where you can only see those questions. That's of very high security, so that anyone else could not access your account. So when you're gonna sign in, when the link I'll put it in the description. So first step is to sign in. They'll ask you for the language. They offer this into English, 2 languages, English as well as French. So whatever language you are comfortable, you can choose that language. Next, they will ask you whether you are from Canada, applying from Canada or outside Canada. So obviously for international students, you can pick up outside Canada. Now this is again a very simple process of creating the sign in, a username or the password, just like any other website, maybe just like Gmail or any other email you create, right? So this is very simple. Now the important part is when you move to the next step. So first, let's say when you have answered those couple of questions and you move to the next step, now what you have to do, you will have to create an application. That's when you land on that page, it will show you a simple screen where you can start your new application. That's the first step. Now when I say the new application, that is the first step to fill the form. The form number I'll just mention in the description, but I'll tell you it's IMM 1294 application for student visa. So what you need to do is you just need to click on the link. It's a hyperlink created, so it's a PDF link. When you will click on that link of that visa form, it will open in a different window and it's editable. So again, it's very simple. They have made that whole portal is very user friendly and easy to understand. So it will take you to a new window and you can easily just sit and take your own time and fill that form at your own ease. Now what you need to fill in that form? As I mentioned, this is the only form or the detailed form that you need to fill for the student visa. Now for this form, there are three major elements. This form is of course of 6 to 7 pages, but majorly divided into three elements. One, of course, they'll ask all your personal details, your name, your contact address, your phone number, your passport details, etc, etc. And then they'll move to the next part where they'll ask about the university details. So which university you're going, which course you're going to pursue, what is the duration of the course, what's the tuition fee, what's the living expenses, all these things, what are the funds that you have, just the rough approximation. They would want you to write everything in that form. And of course the DLI code, which I mentioned, the designated learning institute, where when you will check, your institute will be having a code. So just pick up a code from there and just add it in the form, and your student ID as well, and that is mentioned in the offer letter. So this is about the university details, including your student ID as well as the DLI code. Now the third phase of the form, again, it's very simple, it's not that difficult. It's just some background information, and I would say the answer for most of the questions would be a no. Now the background questions could be, you know, do you have any criminal record, or are you connected with any political party or something like that, or have you served in the armed forces, etc, etc. So these are questions which are very simple. Just read them carefully. I'm telling you 99.9% the answer would be no for most of the questions. So this is the only form which I'm telling you which you have to fill. So just fill the form in the editable PDF document, save it on your desktop, and then again upload that document. They'll give you an option to upload the document on the platform. So just upload that document after filling that. Now this is the first step which is completed. Now you will move to the next step, and this everything you can see on a single screen. So that's why I'm telling you this is very much user friendly, and I'll put the screenshots in the description box so you can easily identify what I'm talking about. So the next step would be is the documents. Now there are 5 supporting documents that you need to give it to them, and 5 of them are very simple. You will have access to all of them. So the number one would be your passport. So in your passport, just scan the first and the last page. These 2 pages are important. So all the details are there on the first and last page, and scan it and upload it. The first document is your passport details. Now just make sure here, when I say 5 documents, which means they're just giving you to upload 1 document for each category. So let's say if your passport page has, let's say, two pages, first and last page, so you need to club those 2 pages on maybe a Word document and then create it into a PDF to create only 1 document and upload that 1 document on the portal. So this exercise you have to do it separately. So do this for all the 5 categories and then go to the portal, so that it will save your time. And because if you go to the portal, it will be inactive for maybe a couple of seconds, a couple of minutes, then again you have to log in. So better first arrange all your documents into 1 document for all categories, and then go and just upload it. It will take a minute. So the first category, as you know, is a passport. First and last page just combine into 1 PDF or the image format, just upload it. Now the next is the offer letter. Again, that's very easy. Of course, if you got an admit from any school or college, so they will offer you an admit offer letter, and just put that offer letter and upload it directly to this portal. Third one is the photograph. Now photograph in the digital or the online medium, you can upload any photograph. They have given the dimensions, but again the second step after this online application is the biometric. So there you have to go to the center and they'll click the photograph and all those things. So here you just need to upload 1 photograph. Just see where your face is closed up and it's very clear, maybe a white background, so that anyone can see your face. Just upload that photograph. So no need to worry about this at this particular stage. So this is the third document. Now number 4 is the family information. Now in the first form they haven't asked you about the family. Now there's a separate form in the document section that is called family information. Now this document is in the PDF format. So what you need to do is again click on the link and the PDF will open in the next window. And when you go to the next window, again this PDF is editable. So it's very simple. Just write all your family member details, your mother, your father, your sister or brothers, whatever you have, their date of birth or their phone number and address and communication, and the most important part, who is going to accompany you when you are going to start your education. So there is a separate column, will he or she accompany you, with each member. So you just need to tick yes or no. If you're going to go alone, of course, you don't need to tick yes in any of the columns. But if you think somebody is going to accompany you, you can always mention that. Because why this information is important? Because then when you will talk about the funding or the financial support, then you have to show that support for 2 people or the number of people who are accompany you in this journey. So that's very important here. That's why they need this information separately. So just be careful while mentioning this information. I'll discuss in the financial support document as well. So this is the 4th document or the 4th form that you have to fill. Again, do the same thing that you did with the first form, the application visa form. Save this PDF on your desktop and just upload it again on the platform. So this is the 4th supporting document that we have. Now the last one, 5th one, is very important, is the financial support. Now this is what the visa officer will be assessing very carefully, how you are going to support your education. Now what are the factors when I say you have to financially support your education? So number 1 is of course the tuition fee, and number 2 is your living expenses. So these 2 combined is the total expenses that you are going to do in the next 3 years, 4 years, or maybe 2 years, whatever the program it is, whether it's MBA, engineering or any other program. So now the important part is what they are going to assess is focus on your tuition fee funding, as well as for your living expenses you have to at least show the first year funding that you are self-sufficient to help yourself in Canada in the first year. So that's what the funding you have to show. Now the question comes, how you are going to show this funding. So there are a lot of ways. I'm going to tell you all the ways. Whatever suits you, whatever you have, you can just put that document and upload it here. So number 1, of course, very famous or popular, is a bank loan. So if you can take a bank loan against the tuition and the living expenses, fair enough, definitely that's very easy. Bank will sanction you a loan and a sanction letter. Upload the letter and that's done. Now let's say you don't have that bank loan facility, or you have a partial bank loan facility. For example, you need $100,000, or let's say you need 50 lakhs and you have a 20 lakhs bank loan. So you need to show, let's say, the next 20 or 30 lakhs. So for that, what you can do is, number 1 is the parent support. So of course they also expect that your parents are going to support in your education, but how you're going to show that parent support? So your parents will have to give them their regular income statement, of if they have any form 16 or ITRs, where they can show that, you know, this is my annual income, and from this income I'm going to support my child for his or her education. So that's one thing they can give, their income statement, ITR or form 16. Another, they can give their saving account statement, and in the saving account statement, obviously they would want to see the statement of the last 3 months or maybe last 3 or 4 months, but preferably they just see the last balance. So just, you know, have some amount, as maybe the last balance should be good enough to support your education. So try and put some money and just take a statement. So that's more than enough. So that's another way. Another way could be the liquid assets. Now when I say liquid asset, which means the assets which can be easily, whenever you want money, you can liquidate them easily. For example, mutual funds. Let's say you have a ongoing mutual funds where you can get 5 lakhs or 6 lakhs is the portfolio value, and you can get it any time. So that's important here, liquid money. And for example, your fixed deposits, which you can always, you know, break and get the money. So you can, your parents can put all those instruments as a support documents, but it's just put whatever is required. Now I've seen a lot of people, they just put all the documents or property papers, and you know, there are 200 documents they attach, even if it's not needed. For example, if you have a sufficient bank loan, that's more than enough, because they're not here to see your complete financial health of your family or your financial analysis they have to do. It's just they need to see whether how you're going to support your tuition as well as the living expense for at least first year. So this is the whole idea or the intent. So this is one way, your parents' support. Bank loan was the first one. Third one could be support from relatives, family and friends. Now this is again also very important, and it's a legal way of taking help from your relatives or parents or family. Now how will you take a help? So what you need to do is you need to just write a letter of support. For example, let's say you're taking help from your friend or maybe your distant cousin, so he or she will have to give a letter telling them, okay, that person is going to support you for your education or for your living expense, whatever it is, and then that person will have to give their account statement that he or she is capable enough to support your funding. So they can again use the same things, their liquid assets, their bank savings, bank account statements, or anything, or the running balance, so or their ITR or form 16. So anything financial numbers, because see, they have to assess your financial state based on the numbers that you will provide in front of them. So these are the numbers which are valid, your bank statements, your ITR, form 16, liquid assets. These are the things which are legal and easy to understand. So whatever I told you, just focus on these three. Number one, of course, the banks or any other institutions you are borrowing from. Number two, of course, your parents' support. And number three could be your friends, family and relatives. And it could be a combination of 2 or 3 as well. Friends plus parents or parents plus bank loan as well. So this is the most important and the last document. Again, if you have multiple documents, just make one detailed document in a Word doc, paste it, all the documents, then create a PDF. And the document size for all the document categories should not exceed I think 4 MB is the upper limit, and that's more than enough. So yes, so these are the 5 documents which are very important that you should be having. And now after telling you all these things, you can see there's no problem in arranging these documents. They're pretty simple, straightforward. So you can easily arrange these documents. You don't need any help in arranging these documents and uploading to the portal. So these are the mandatory things. First, of course, the form. Now these 5 are the supporting documents. Now the third section which I talked about is the optional forms. Now there are 2 optional forms in this. Number one is another form for temporary resident. Now you will see this form again hyperlinked. If you click on the form will open in a new window, and again it's editable. But now whether you need to fill this form or not will be decided on the question numbers 3 to 6 of your first form which you have filled, the only form which you have filled. So in that, if you remember, I told you the background information. So in the background information, they've asked you about your connection in the political arena, or whether you have committed any crime or not, all these questions in the background. So there, from question number 3 to 6, if in any of the questions you have marked yes, then you have to fill this optional form. But again, I'm saying in 99.9% cases, you will mark no in the first form. So which means this optional form, no need to fill this form in your category. But of course, case to case is differs. Maybe in your case, you can just check the criteria which I told you. Question number 3 to 6, any answer, if yes, then you need to fill this form. I'll put again all the form names and details and all these criteria in the description. So don't worry, you just check out the description. Now this is about the optional form first. Now the last part of the visa application is the letter of explanation. Now again, this is been put into the optional category, but what I would recommend is you should always give a letter of explanation to the visa officer. This always supports your application and makes your application stronger. Now what is a letter of explanation? What do they expect and what you should write in that explanation? Now letter of explanation is whatever you haven't mentioned in the form or maybe in your supporting documents. Now what they want to understand from you, and when they issue visa to any person, so there are 2 main reasons why the visa gets rejected. See, there are a lot of multiple reasons, of course, if there is a problem in the form filling, or if you miss the information, or some other issues. The technical issues are separate, but there is an issue of intent. They want to check that whether you have strong ties with your country or not, whether you are a burden to the Canadian government or not, whether you're going to stay illegally in their country or not. Now these are the things they try to assess from your application. So of course, from your basic details, your financial support, they assess your well-being or your system. Now with the help of the letter of explanation, you can tell your story to the visa officer. Now what you can write in the letter of explanation? The first important thing is why you are choosing Canada. It's very important. For example, you're going for a bachelor's program in engineering. So why you're pursuing an engineering program from Canada? You need to tell them the reason and also tell them the strong ties. For example, recently I worked with a student, and what we have written in the form is that the student, their parents, his dad is a manufacturing is into manufacturing business and manufactures some products. Now the student which we have mentioned is that why he wants to pursue engineering, to understand the more technological advancements, the new country, the quality of education and all those things, and use those things to come back and run his own business and expand it to a new heights or two different levels. Now these are the things which are going to show that you have very strong ties with your own country. You are very well connected with your parents, so you are not going to be an illegal immigrant even after your education. So these are the connections they're trying to assess. Another important element here is when you talk about the financial support. So when you get a support from your parents or your relatives or friends, that again also reflects, or even the bank, which means that you have that credit worthiness in your country, that these people are giving you the credit to go and study abroad. So these are the ties they try to understand and assess an individual, so that they should curb the illegal immigration. That's the intent. So you always mention why you want to go to Canada. Just try to showcase some strong ties with your own country. And the second part, you should always mention if you are a very outstanding student, for example, or for example you got multiple offers. For example, you got offers from 5 universities. So attach all those offer letters in the letter of explanation. Or if you were outstanding academically, so mention everything in that letter of explanation, because these things are not mentioned in the part of the form. It is like a statement of purpose, if in short, if I have to say. So mention everything, that you are an outstanding candidate, you are going to be an asset to the company, to the country, you are not going to be an illegal immigrant, you can stay on your own, you can support yourself financially. Now these are the things they are concerned about. So if you are okay in all those fronts, definitely you are going to get a visa. I don't see any other reason why your visa will be rejected. So this is the way you have to craft your letter of explanation. So this is the last stage. Now we are at the end of this video. So starting first is the first application form you have to fill. That's the detailed form. Then you have 5 supporting documents, as I mentioned. Then you have 2 optional documents. Out of that, one is a letter of explanation, and one is, of course, whether you have to fill it or not depends on the first form, question numbers 3 to 6. Now after you fill everything, now the last stage is to make the payment. So when you will upload all the documents, it will show you an option to submit and go to the next page. If you click on the next page, you will have to pay 2 types of fees. Number one is 150 Canadian dollars is the visa application fee, and $85 is for the biometric fee. So it's total is 235 Canadian dollars. You can pay it online using your credit card, debit card, whatever cards you have, and then your application is being submitted. You will get a notification on your email as well as in a message. And on a regular basis, every time you can just go there and log in. The first page you will see is your application status. So click on the status and see whether is there any message from their side or not. If they need more information, they will inform you whenever it's required. And if you want to check the processing time for most of the countries, so you have to just go on the website. There are 3 steps. Just put the country, just put the time frame, they will give you a right processing time. Now during this period right now, because of the coronavirus, the average processing time from the Indian side, I would say it's around 2 months. So it will take around 2 months, and I think it's the same across the globe right now. It is going to take more than 2 months in most of the cases for the visa to get issued. So this is I think this is complete process of how you're going to apply to the student visa. In any case, if you feel stuck or if you have any questions, just feel free to drop your questions in the comments, and just do like and share this video as much as you can, so that all of us can do this process on your own, and you don't need support, or you don't need to have, you don't need to spend a lot of money, because I'm telling you, honestly, the lot of agents, they're going to charge you a bomb for this particular process, which is extremely simple and very fair, very transparent from the government side. So just try and do on your own. You arrange your documents and just fill these forms and you are good to go. So thank you so much for listening to me. Take care. Bye bye.